a Good Karma Brands radio station.
So it looks like the Celtics are going to win the NBA Finals, but something's been missing from these playoffs, and we get to the bottom of it today.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
What does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Can't lie, man. With all the rain pouring down out here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast, the vibes are hard to grasp. It's hard not to feel a little melodramatic, a little down, a little gloomy. And then you watch what we had to sit through last night. Again, probably the most compelling NBA Finals game we've had through three. But the Boston Celtics winning it with Luka Doncic on the bench because he fouled out with 4 minutes to go in that one, 106-99. The Celtics now have a stranglehold on these NBA Finals. They're one win away from hanging banner number 18 above that parquet floor at TD Garden. As a Miami Heat fan, I mean, entering these NBA Finals, it was either the Dallas Mavericks, the one team that beat the Heat when the Heat were favored in the Finals, 2011, the Heatles, don't remind me, or the Heat's most heated rival, especially over the past 15 years in the Boston Celtics, and it looks like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and the crew are going to be getting their first rings. Last night was a thriller, right? We had a good game. We had some leads. We had some comes back. We had a game of runs, but it ended a little bit anticlimactic because Luka Doncic couldn't seem to stay on the court. And that feels like what these NBA Finals and NBA playoffs have been, anticlimactic, leaving something for us to yearn for. And today we're asking the big question, what is lacking? What's been missing from these NBA playoffs? And to me, it's been just that. It's been opposition, and we saw it last night. Boston led 91-70 thanks to a 20-5 run early in the fourth quarter. The Mavericks then responded in front of a crowd at home that had the 2011 Mavericks there in celebration, right? You had Patrick Mahomes, my quarterback, there watching, hoping the Mavericks can pull off the historic run. The Mavericks were on that 22-2 run, but then with Luka Doncic fouling out with 4:12 to go, Kyrie even hit a shot to shrink the deficit to just one late in the game, but then it was Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and Derek White closing it out, 13 points for the Boston Celtics down the stretch. They win it 106-99. And again, we're left thinking, what could have been if Luka Doncic was in the game? And I don't want to be that guy to try and rain on a team parade. The Boston Celtics are great from the start of the regular season till now. They've been the best team in the NBA, and it's hard to refute that. The only thing is, a lot of times with these championships, it's not just about the team that wins it. It's not just about the climb and the ascension into NBA history. It's also about the opposition. And the one thing that has lacked the most in these NBA playoffs has been compelling opposition, whether that be because the Boston Celtics are so strong or because, like what we saw in round one for the Celtics run against the Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler was out. Terry Rozier was out. They still dropped one at home, but a very severely undermanned Heat team, and Jimmy Butler likely one of the number one two-way stars that a team cannot operate without. In the next series, you have the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they get through the Cavs as you would expect, but Donovan Mitchell misses the last two games of that series as they cruise. Tyrese Halliburton, the same story for the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals, and now the Celtics, who, again, they deserve all of the praise. They deserve all of the clout that they're getting for this championship run, but there's a reason why if they win on Friday night, if they win tomorrow in Dallas, they'll be the first team to ever sweep the Eastern Conference Finals and the NBA Finals, and that's because the opposition has just been lacking. 888-760-3776, 888-760-3776. That's the number to call into the show. We opened up the Baptist Health Hotline early today because I ask you, as a Heat fan for me, I just see a lack of opposition, and it's made these NBA playoffs way less compelling. What to you has been missing in these NBA playoffs? 888-760-3776, 888-760-3776. CKatt's on the ones and twos. He'll take your calls here on the Baptist Health Hotline. Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit BaptistHealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit BaptistHealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting BaptistHealth.net/ortho. Opposition has been at a deficit in these NBA Finals, and the Boston Celtics, who have not lost a game in a month, have been cruising. But on the other side in these finals, which are technically not over, even though CKatt, I mean, we've had this happen 156 times in the National Basketball Association where a team has been down 3-0, and we have to flirt the stat out there. Nobody's ever done it. Nobody's ever succumbed or overcome a 3-0 deficit in the NBA playoffs. We've seen it happen in the MLB. We saw it happen in the NHL. One day it's going to happen in basketball, but I've never felt less confident in a team's ability to do so than I do today with the flailing Luka Doncic-led Dallas Mavericks. Like, there's no chance, right? I know I did my whole monologue yesterday praising the Mavericks, right? Embarrassing for me. Saying that they had all of these windows of opportunity. Kristaps is out, right? Jason Tatum is chasing his finals MVP. I had it all figured out. And then Luka Doncic is spending more time complaining than he is moving his feet. No chance.
No chance. And we're not breaking any news when we say there's no chance, but you should have an inkling of hope for a team that made their way to the NBA Finals. Like, we should be feeling that there's a chance that the Mavs could win 1 or 2 games here. I'm on the boat of no chance this game goes to game 5. Like, this is a sweep. This is awful. It's awful basketball. These guys are immature. It's gross. It
has all the makings of a sweep. Luka Doncic is proving himself to be a guy, and there's part of the reason why Anthony Edwards had all of that hype behind him for future face of the league is because most everything he did came with a positive Q rating. Like, even in his bad games, you saw the effort. You saw him trying hard on defense. He has the high-flying dunks. He gives you great post-game commentary. Like, he leaned in and was a very favorable person. Sometimes watching Luka Doncic play basketball, as great as he is, as electric as he is, as prolific as he is, as a passer, as a scorer, his footwork is amazing. Like, everything Luka does on the court, especially on offense, can be tantalizing. But, man, on defense, straight-up turnstile, and then the constant complaining and bickering with the referees. Like, I get it. You're trying to get your superstar calls. You're trying to do everything you can to squeeze as much juice out of the orange as you can to get a win. But it's crossed the line of annoying at this point. It's literally been, like, detrimental to his team.
That part of Luka Doncic is everything that's wrong with today's society. It legitimately is, because everybody knows that person that chooses to pick and pry and prod and complain about the things that they cannot control as a reason why they are failing. Everybody that's listening right now, that's watching right now on YouTube, has someone in their life that complains about someone else's problems impacting their life and not shortcomings that they had themselves as a reason to failure.
Yeah, like you, CKatt, this morning when you were mad that the lady put barbecue sauce on your sub.
That was her fault. I said buffalo and ranch, please. Buffalo and ranch. I waited 10 minutes for that sub, and she threw BBQ sauce on and gave me a dirty look after I made her make a new one.
Hypocrite, CKatt is. Complaining about complainers as he just got done complaining to me right before we got on the airwaves here. What is missing from these NBA playoffs? 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776 as the Boston Celtics inch one step closer to hanging banner number 18. It has felt like a very underwhelming postseason. I don't want to pour or diminish their accomplishments. The Celtics do deserve this stage that they've gotten to. But again, it's been a little bit lackluster. We asked the question on social media at ESPN West Palm on Twitter, and we got some interesting results. We got Emerson Latzia saying the Nuggets are missing from these playoffs. There's a reason for that.
Bring your ass.
Yeah, like they were done with. They got dealt with.
Yeah, they kind of went through the postseason cycle of not being better than the team that they matched up against.
Yeah, like that naturally happened. Now, here's a tweet from Evan Cohen, who you hear on Unsportsmanlike, who just tweets a gif of Jimmy Butler. And it is like, as much as the Celtics are going to have their parade and they deserve this moment, and Jason Tatum, I have to give him credit personally because I thought he was going to get in the way of his team's own success by trying to chase the Finals MVP trophy. He had a good night, a decently efficient night with 30 points, over 5 rebounds, and over 5 assists. Like, he was good, and he picked his spots. But again, it just makes me reflect back to the Eastern Conference run. They did it without having to face the boogeyman that has literally terrorized the Celtics franchise for the past 5 years. Like, I still think if Jimmy Butler were playing in these playoffs, if the Heat didn't put themselves in that precarious situation of having to play in the play-in game, and they walked into round one at full strength against the Boston Celtics, like, we might be having a different story today. I'm not saying the Heat beat them there, but they at least pushed them past the point where they didn't have to just cruise into the finals, well-rested. Like, you look at what Luka Doncic looked like, that dude had been through war, right? Like, he had to get through the Clippers in round one. He had was that a 7-game series against the Oklahoma City Thunder in round two where Cason Wallace was strapping up Kyrie Irving all up and down the court? And then in the Western Conference Finals, it looked easy, but it took a lot of effort out of Luka, and he was hobbled the whole time. That dude went through war to get to the finals, whereas the Celtics cruised there, and it's hard not to point out the fact that there were no stars on the other side giving opposition. Just like last night when the going got tough. We finally thought the Mavericks were going to steal the game. They were going to win this one. It was going to be one of the most historic comebacks in NBA Finals history. But then the game is within one, and Luka Doncic is fouled out, sitting on the side, watching his team have to battle against, what is the best team in the league right now? We got stole. We got robbed of an opportunity to watch maybe greatness happen from Luka Doncic, and it was really Luka's own fault. The
biggest test the Celtics have faced in the postseason was the Pacers. What the series go to 5? Like, that was a close game almost every single time, but the Celtics dominated the series. It was ridiculous.
And they almost lost one of those as well. Like, let's not forget, there were a couple times where calls from referees or just idiotic dribbles off the foot of Tyrese Halliburton allowed the Celtics to win those games. But here's Brian Windhorst, because last night Brian Windhorst, he really tore into Luka Doncic, who, if we're going to talk about what's been missing from these playoffs, and I say it's opposition, Luka Doncic, well, his lack of accountability on defense and also his lack of accountability on near misses, on any time he's bumped in the lane and he's complaining to referees and blaming somebody else, he is part of the reason why the opposition wasn't there in the last 4 minutes. Here's Brian Windhorst going ether on him. Go and meet the
You've got a
Grams
situation here where Luka's complaining about the officiating. They have begged him. They have talked with him. They have pleaded with him. He is costing his team because of how he treats the officials. He's a brilliant player. He does so many things well. They are here because of how he did. His performance in this game is unacceptable, and the reason why the Mavericks are not going to win. He's got to get over this. And the fact that he came out after the game and blamed the officials showed me he's nowhere close yet. So maybe over the summer, somebody will get to him, because nobody with the Mavericks or anybody else in his life has. And that's where the Mavericks are at this point. They're never going to get to this tunnel with the trophy if he doesn't improve those aspects of his game.
That's going to be the answer to the question. Does Luka learn from this scenario? Does he learn from being literally disappearing on his team in the moment when they needed him most? That fifth foul and that sixth foul, both were idiotic. The one where he was hooked on Jaylen Brown, and then later on when he tries to slide in front of Jaylen Brown, like, all of his defensive efforts were half-hearted, and it was the kind of stuff you would see like an AAU player, like a 13-year-old AAU kid who's still learning the fundamentals of the game, who's tired after his third game in 2 days in a tournament. It was that kind of effort, but he's doing it on the biggest stage in basketball. Like, it's downright embarrassing. I know that yesterday, me claiming the Mavericks had a shot and pounding the table for this Dallas Mavericks squad, and it wasn't as bad as what Michael Wilbon did. He said Tim Hardaway Jr. might be the answer, and Jason Kidd went to Tim Hardaway Jr. Did you see how that worked out, CKatt?
Didn't go well.
0 points, 19 minutes, 3 rebounds, 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 3 from deep. I remember when he walked into a three-pointer late in the game, I said, oh, here's his moment, Tim Hardaway Jr. Jr., where you at? Nowhere when the Mavericks needed him most. The Celtics now 1 win away from the NBA Finals, 1 win away from the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Jason Tatum going to further cement himself as one of the Celtics greats, and we'll have to see how that pans out on Friday. Nobody thinks this series is going past 4. I'd be hard-pressed to find anybody in the world that thinks they actually have a chance to make history. A guy that's made a lot of history is Tom Brady, but he's retired. And Bill Belichick, he's no longer on the sidelines anymore, but there's still cheating going on in the NFL. There's still people getting caught with their hands in the cookie jar. We address when we come back on Theoretically Speaking. But in the NBA Finals, well, you already have your answer. The Celtics are going to win that thing. In the Stanley Cup Final, CKatt.
Work to be done.
There's some work to be done, and that work starts tonight in Edmonton, Ontario. I know you didn't make the trip, so I got the perfect plan for you. I'm calling the Rat Pack. Join us, ESPN West Palm and Yingling, tonight for a Panthers watch party. I bet you're wondering where we're at. Glad you asked. We're hanging out at Charlie's Bar and Grill in Stewart. It's going to be from 7:30 to 9:30 tonight at Charlie's Bar and Grill. We're going to sip on some Yingling Flight. We're going to play some games. We're going to enter for your chance to win some signed memorabilia. Charlie's Bar and Grill also has Yingling and Yingling Flight Draft specials all summer long. So tonight will be fun, but all summer long, they'll be grooving. You must be 21 plus, and is brought to you by Yingling, who reminds you to drink responsibly. Also, Alexander Barkov cleared the play tonight. The Panthers in prime position to go up 3-0 in the Stanley Cup Final and win their franchise's first ever Lord Stanley Cup.
I saw you sipping on some Yingling on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
You're a Yingling dude.
I'm a Yingling man. That was my go-to beer in college, man. Up there at Hampton University, dog, I give me a 6-pack of Yinglings on a Saturday, kick back, watch some college football, and be done with the whole 6-pack like 2 hours in, tops.
That's a college dream right there.
Great college experience. Kicking back on the couch. You know the worst part about my college couch, CKatt? I used to get teased for this.
What's that?
We had actually got the couch from behind the dumpster, and our solution to it, because we tried to clean the couch and it didn't really work out that well, we got some bed sheets. Don't tell anybody this, by the way. This is like top secret. We bought some new bed sheets from Walmart. We came home, we got a staple gun, and we stapled the bed sheets to the couch as a couch cover.
That's insane. There's definitely something living inside that couch that you suffocated with the bed sheets. Well, that's still there right now.
Well, you know what? It's good. It was dead and it was out of our way. And you know what? A lot of great times were had in that apartment. For 2 years, we had those couches with bed sheets on them, and we got away with it. It worked out. We saved money.
That's sick.
You're all about saving money. You're not on board with this?
Dude, Facebook Marketplace. Like, you can find something that's not behind a dumpster.
It wasn't a dirty couch. It was behind a dumpster. It was a clean-looking couch, and we just knew it was behind a dumpster, so we kind of got innovative.
But it was left. See, I am a cheapskate. Yeah. I love secondhand stuff, but when you leave stuff out overnight, at least one night, that's all it takes for me to say, no, thank you. What if it rained? Gross, disgusting. A hobo probably slept on it. No, thank you.
I get it. I mean, it was, in retrospect, I would never do it again. But I was in college, man. I was silly. I was dumb. Just like the Atlanta Falcons were when they got caught with their hand in a cookie jar. We address when we come back on Theoretically Speaking.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Hi, I'm Wendy Sartori-Link, your Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections. Before you know it, the August 20th primary election will be here. There are 3 ways to vote: by mail, during early voting, August 10th through August 18th, or Election Day, August 20th. Since Florida is a closed primary state, you can only vote for candidates that share your political party or any of the nonpartisan elections. If you want to change your party, the deadline is July 22nd. Everything you need to make your vote count is online at votepalmbeach.gov.
Time now for a PNC pause. PNC Bank is committed to helping the customers and the communities they serve move forward financially. See how they can make a difference for you at PNC.com.
Duffy's Sports Grill is going cats crazy. Head on over to your nearest Duffy's to catch every minute of Florida's quest to win it all. With over 80 TVs, you will never miss a minute of the game. Every goal, every big hit. Catch it all at Duffy's. Duffy's, once again voted the best sports grill in 2024 with their award-winning burgers and wings, plus Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. Duffy's, our game is always on.
I'm Ellie Anajar.